Welcome. My name is Alimohammad, and this is the latest edition of Do You Know the Laws? One of the areas that we practice is immigration law. I've been doing it for 10 years now. And so we're going to talk about a topic today that is called 245I. Before we get into 245I, there's a myth out there that, say, suppose a person has come across the border. They came many years ago, and they were told, or they heard from someone else, or maybe their friend did this, and they got married to a U.S. citizen. And people think that's the easiest way to fix your immigration. Well, guess what happened to that person? They never came into the country legally. They came across the border. Maybe they came in 2004 or 2005. They got married to a U.S. citizen. They filed their paperwork, and then they got deported. Why is that? Because marriage to a U.S. citizen is not always a solution. It doesn't always work. There are requirements and eligibility requirements for you to be able to adjust your status even if you do marry a U.S. citizen. One of the things that's most important is you have to have come into the country legally in the first place. So say suppose you came in on a visitor visa, 6 months, it expired, you never left, you get married to a U.S. citizen. It's a real marriage, you actually live with them. You can establish that it's a bona fide relationship, bona fide marriage. Then they got their green card, and then they can get their citizenship later. There are requirements out there. If you came into the country across the border, or you use someone else's passport to get in, well, you will not be able to get married to a U.S. citizen and fix your status. You won't be able to even get anybody else, like a parent, to file for you and fix your status, unless you're under a law called 245I. 245I is a very complicated law. I'm going to break it down to you as much as I can in the next few minutes. Basically, 245I was passed around 2000, and what it said was you needed to be actually in the U.S. December 2000, December 20th of 2000, December 21st of 2000, and you needed to have filed something by April 30th, 2001. So that something could have been a labor certification, it could have been an alien relative petition, and so that's the latest edition of 245I. There was a previous one where if you filed by a certain time, you didn't need to establish that you were here, like in this one, but this is the latest version, so that is the one we're explaining today. But under that, if you qualify for adjustment and you meet 245I requirements, you can pay a $1,000 penalty, and then if it is your time under priority dates to get a green card, you can get a green card. So that is a very important law, and one of the best parts of 245I is what's called grandfathering. And 245I is like, you can say it's like a good disease. It attaches to you, and then it attaches to all of your family members. So later on, so for example, if I met the requirements for 245I, I came in, illegally, and then I was here December 21st, 2000, and I had something filed for me in before April 30th, 2001, even if that case got denied, I'm still grandfathered. And later on, if I want to file another case, I'm still eligible. And then, say my son, who is underage when I met all the requirements, he becomes over 21, and then he is also grandfathered. So he can also take advantage of that law. Same thing for my spouse. If we're no longer together, she is also grandfathered if she was with me when I met all the requirements. Obviously, marriage to a U.S. citizen is not always the best solution. If you're going to do that, make sure it's a real marriage, because you don't want to be caught with something called a sham marriage that will prevent you from getting any benefits in the country. And you do have to meet the requirements for you to use that. 245I is a law that's very complicated. A lot of people don't understand it, but we have written many, many articles on it. We've done many cases utilizing 245I. And so if you have any questions on this, you can call us.